Welcome back to Toast Talk, and it's the Birmingham View, and we're previewing Birmingham against Coventry. It's the Blues against the Sky Blues, and we've got Adam and Claudio from Sky Blues TV to do that with. Good evening, Adam. How are you? Are you okay? You're now in the bottom three.
I've been better, but trying to be positive, but it's hard.
Okay. Welcome, Claudio. Any sympathy for the other blue part of the Midlands?
I have, because obviously without Birmingham we wouldn't exist. So that's always up there, and we've got a tremendous record at what we have when we played there as a home team. So we've got to keep the Midland clubs alive, haven't we? End of.
All right. On this episode, we are asking the question: are Birmingham City too big of a club to drop to League One? And is there such a thing as too big as a club? We're also going to be chatting about the investment news that we've heard this week. That there's some land being bought. Adam's going to tell us all about that. And of course, we're going to preview the massive game for both clubs this weekend as Birmingham meet Coventry at St Andrews. We're recording this before the Cardiff game this week, so we don't know the result of that. But Adam, this is a huge week for the Blues. 4 points is a minimum?
Minimum. Absolute minimum. I mean, if we're going to end up, some fans seem to think that that's in the bank, that's in the bag, it's going to happen. And I'm thinking, we ain't picked up 4 points in the last 8 games. What makes you think we're going to do it in the next 2? But yeah, 4 points at an absolute minimum. Any chance of survival, anything less than that, and I think we're gone.
Leicester was a free hit, and for 75 minutes, so you did all right. I think. So you saw your tweets at half time, and then I think as soon as you press send on that, you equalised, didn't you, through Stansfield? What did you make of the game?
So pretty much men v boys for majority of it. We just spent the whole game pretty much, bar 20 minutes in the first half, we spent the whole game just defending. It weren't pretty. Like you say, it was a bit of a free hit. The only problem was we knew losing at Leicester was going to put us in the bottom 3 because the teams around us were going to pick up points because they were playing against one another. Most of them were. So, yeah, it put it in Huddersfield's hands now, I suppose, because they're ahead of us, so we've got to chase them. But yeah, it's going to be a tough couple of weeks and some highs and lows, I imagine.
I've obviously seen the goals. I've not seen the whole game. I've got to ask about Mavridi's goal because when that ball was whipped in, I counted 8 Birmingham players in the box, 8, and he still manages to get a free header on the back post. Just explain how that happens.
I mean, it's happened. I think I seen a stat the other day. I think we've lost 14 points in the last 10 minutes of a game. I mean, we just concede continuously late on. So players just switch off, which you can't do when we're where we are in the league, and that's the reason why we are where we are. It's schoolboy defending, that is, isn't it? I think it's plain and obvious to see.
Yeah. Going back to what our title is in this week, Villa fans won't agree with this, but they're the only ones. Are Birmingham City too big of a club to drop down into League One? I'm going to get Claudio's views on this first, if that's all right. Claudio, do you just subscribe that there are just some teams in this division that are too big to go down?
No, because we've done it. Unfortunately, it's just it happens, doesn't it? And a club can get into a rut. We've seen it with Derby County. We've seen it with we got a team with, I think it's happened to Southampton, hasn't it, in the past for one season. Leeds United, we've all suffered it, and I think, well, even Aston Villa have been in the old Div 3. If the owners get it wrong, it can be critical, can't it? And the Blues are at a stage now with only, is it 5 or 6 games they've got left, where I wouldn't want to be in their shoes, because you've got Sheffield Wednesday, as bad as some people think they are getting a bit of momentum. They're pretty good at home, and I still think they're going to get maybe a couple of wins yet. So it's going to be really tight down there. So no club's too big, basically.
Adam, you've supported them all your life.
I agree. I'm not going to be biased to it, but I think you you hover around the relegation hole too long, you eventually drop through it. And like Claudio just said, there's been plenty of bigger teams gone down there, and you have to just reset and come back up. Is the plan.
Could you see Birmingham bouncing back up? You've got huge financial investment, haven't you? You the only thing is you've got so many players out of contract. You are literally starting again, aren't you, from scratch?
This was my debate I had the other day with somebody saying that, there's teams down there now in Division, well, what is Division 1, they're set, they've got a base of a team ready, they're challenging. Blues go down, we've got something like 14 players out of contract, 5 loans to go back. Your revenue drops, which means the owners can't spend what they want to spend, what they've got planned if we do stay up. So yeah, there's a lot of players to replace. I don't think it's guaranteed we just come straight back up.
And you're going to miss out on the TV deal for next year of the Championship as well, which is obviously going to be more lucrative. And there's news this week of the owners buying some land. Tell us more about that.
Yeah, they've brought the old Birmingham Wheels site, which is about 60 acres, apparently. It's massive. And then they've just released plans. They're going to build like a sporting quarter arena kind of place where they reckon it's going to be ready for 2029. And it's going to cost around 2 to 3 billion. So I can't imagine they want us in League One either, because that ain't going to look good, is it? But
that means NFL's coming to Birmingham.
Yeah. You'll be coming to Birmingham when you want to watch it. But yeah, we've got to stay in the league. I think the owners have also said today that they messed up appointing Rooney and sacking John Eustace when they did. I'm not saying if we go down, that's the reason we've gone down, because Rooney only had 14 games out of 40 something. That ain't the reason we go down. The reason we go down is a handful of these players just are not good enough, which I've been saying on here all season.
Yeah, certainly have. So if we summarise that chat then, so Blues can't go down because they're going to miss out on loads of money. They haven't got the base players to get back straight away, and there's huge investment coming over the horizon. So let's make this Cardiff game tomorrow night and the Coventry game on Saturday even bigger, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I'd like to think Coventry are going to do us a favour and put out a weakened squad. Means they have got a semi-cup final game 3 days later, and we did save them a couple of years ago. So I'd like to think somewhere along the line they're going to put Ellie Sims and the other guy on the bench and rest them. But yeah, listen, we've got to get 4 points minimum out the next 2 games. I don't see them as any easy games at all, especially Coventry. They're a very good side. They hammered us at their ground early on.
A bit of a bogey side for you, aren't they? They do regularly beat you. Claudio, any chances of Coventry resting players ahead of next week's Wembley trip?
I don't think he will, because our squad isn't that massive. So if he brings anybody in, there's still decent players. I mean, O'Hare's been on the bench, and he might even come in during the week for Casey Palmer, because obviously Casey Palmer's not playing in the Cup semi-final. So the chance our Palmer will probably play on Saturday. Torp has been on the bench recently. So we've got players to come in. So I think whatever we put out is going to be fairly decent. It's just whether or not how up they are for it, because obviously there's a big game the week after.
Yeah, massive. Let's get some score predictions from you both. Before we do, Adam, there's a lot of chat about Dembele on social media following the game at Leicester. Some of the words I've got written down here was embarrassing, shocking, worst performance I've ever seen, never play him again, completely let the side down. Is that too harsh?
No, not at all. Bloke comes on the pitch, loses the ball every single time he gets it, doesn't track back, doesn't try and win the ball back, and we always concede from him being like that. So yeah, no, I wouldn't have him anywhere near that squad.
Okay. So it is. I always love it. All right, let's get some score predictions from you both. Then this is a 2-0 scoreline. Last 2 times you meet, we've had 2-0. It was 2-0, I think, in the reverse fixture earlier in the season. You've not been Coventry since 2011. So come on, this is the weekend, isn't it, Adam?
Nah. If you want me to be honest, I just don't see how we score enough goals. You won't stop Coventry from scoring. They'll definitely score, which means you've got to outscore them. We're not a team that score 2 or 3 goals a game. we'd have to catch Coventry on a really bad day, or for them not be up for it at all, for us to get a win, I think. So I'm going to go 1-1.
Okay. Claudio?
Well, when we were borrowing St Andrews, I think we lost 3 in 42 matches playing there. But we played Blues in the cup and we struggled and we lost on penalties. And previously, we were never that great at St Andrews against Birmingham. So it's strange, isn't it? So I think we will win. We will do it. I mean, we had that great victory the other year when we won 4-2 when we were 2-0 down, and we came back to win 4-2, which is bizarre for us anyway. But I think we'll sneak it 2-1. I don't think it'll be pretty because obviously Birmingham will be trying to slog their guts out to get something from the game. So, but no, I think we'll do it 2-1.
We've been talking this week as our theme about the standard of the Championship this year and last year, and with Burnley and Sheffield United coming straight back down is likely, and given that those two ran away with the league last year and how awful they are in the Premier League, how do you two both feel about two clubs who are well established, especially Birmingham in the Championship now, about the gap, or the growing seeming gap, between the Premier League standard and the Championship?
Well, there's obviously a gap there, and that's all down to the amount of money, swimming around the Premier League. It'd be great, wouldn't it, if some of these Premier League teams actually spent the money in the Championship, because that will, as you know, we sold Gyökeres to Sporting Lisbon for 25 million, and now the talk is going to go for 80 odd or 100 million. And it's going to be sold to Chelsea or Arsenal. You're thinking, well, wouldn't it have been great if we'd have had half of that coming to us in the Championship? But I don't know. Is it Luton are doing okay? I mean, they might survive. I mean, obviously, you know why. But I think you've got to get your foot in the door, haven't you, in the Premiership, and try and stay in there for 3 seasons, basically. Brentford have done it. Fulham have done it. I mean, Bournemouth did it and obviously went down and went back up again. So you've got a chance, but it's all about stability, right recruitment, a decent manager, and not, at the first sign of trouble, getting rid of your boss, basically.
Adam?
Yeah, I kind of agree. You have a couple of teams every year. 1 out of the 3 teams goes up and usually survives. I think we've seen Sheffield United do the one year, didn't they? I think they finished 10th and then got second season, got relegated. But even if Luton survive this season, they won't survive the season after. They'll probably be in the bottom 3, I would imagine. The gap's massive now, and like you say, every season it's getting bigger and bigger, and that's just because these Premier League clubs, if they want players out of the Championship, they get them for next to nothing. So it just doesn't help the Championship clubs at all. And it's just about going up there and slogging it out for a season or 2. I think if you can do that in the Premier League, you then will be able to have some money to spend and do it. But, we watched Fulham one year spend 110 million, was it, and got relegated. There's no guarantee. There's no answer to going up and staying up. I think, like Claudio said, stick with it, stick with your team and have a good go at it.
Yeah. All right. Cheers for that. Thank you for watching, and thank you both for joining us. Next week, if you're a Birmingham fan, we need you here because it's the Rotherham game, which we are previewing. And oh my goodness, if Birmingham City needed a fixture to get 3 points from, it's arriving next week. Also next week, we're going to sit with Adam and we're going to go through the whole squad and ask Adam who should be getting a new contract and who should not. So stand by for that. Stand by for that one. That might be a very quick 30 seconds.
That's going to be interesting.
Yeah. Thanks, Claudio, for joining us. Good luck against going back to your old spiritual home in St Andrews. And Adam, good luck against Cardiff and Coventry this weekend. Thanks for joining us.
Cheers. Thanks.
Cheers. Thank you.